Sounds good.
Right, we are going to move on to my Reddit segment
Okay.
that I've been promising. Now, I just thought as a... are we just going to... Right, let's just ignore... Literally going right across your face. It's amazing.
I ain't saying anything.
No,
I've been told to just ignore it, so I'm doing exactly that.
We're just going to deal with that little indiscretion for now. But essentially, see, I haven't got any curtains in my office at all. So this is a new segment where I am basically going to trawl through this Reddit subreddit called "Who is your saddest celebrity encounter?" and then pick out some of my favorites, and then we'll just discuss it. So. The first one comes from a deleted account, but it's my brother met Gene Simmons backstage at a show he was playing in. Gene complimented my brother highly on his guitar playing, but then said, "Too bad you'll never make it," and just walked away. That is cold.
If you thought he was a prick before.
Even for Gene Simmons, that is a cold burn.
You're not going to make it because rock is dead, man.
Oh, God, I still haven't forgiven him for that comment. You know, I know Kiss are playing Download next year, and supposedly they put on one of the best live shows ever, but I'm still not a fan. Well, I say I'm just not a fan of Gene Simmons. You know, so any fans that he's in, he's oh, God. Right, have we dealt with that finally?
Yeah.
Good. All right, well, I'll move on. So someone's commented, followed up on that, saying, "Oh my God, this is bad. This is so bad."
All right.
So the reply to this comment: Gene Simmons is a douchebag. My dad ran into him in some bar in Baltimore in the very late 70s after a show. My dad wasn't a huge Kiss fan, but appreciated the music and told Gene something along the lines of, "Awesome concert, thanks for the show." Gene looked at my dad, then promptly replied, "I hope the next time you're sucking ass to impress someone, you pucker more." And then walked off.
He's like the biggest pucker with his lips imaginable, so what's he talking about?
No, you're thinking of Steven Tyler.
Yeah, well, I thought Gene was like...
In all fairness, you know, he has that tongue.
2 tongues.
Yeah.
What?
Anyway, we'll stop picking on Gene Simmons. That's just a couple of things.
Stop picking on Gene Simmons. It's retribution, my friend.
Yeah. Although I got to say that as a bit of redemption for that, someone called Too Long Cano Fred or Cano Tread on this subreddit says, Kiss came and played a show at my hometown in the mid-90s, and they asked my brother's band to be one of the opening bands. They said, "No, thank you, none of us are Kiss fans," and left it at that. Brilliant. There you go.
And this is one of the many reasons why I don't see Kiss if they ever headline at Download.
Yeah.
Unless I had some eggs in my hand.
Yeah. I like this one. It's not, again, sad rather than sort of... rude or whatever celebrity encounter, but I had an entirely eyeball body language conversation with Chris Pontius at a guitar center. Chris Pontius from Jackass,
right,
and Wild Boys, obviously. Party Boy. He was playing an acoustic. I saw him. He looked at me. I realized who he was. He saw that I recognized him and gave me a look that was so sad, like, "Please don't announce to the world that I'm here." I nodded. He smiled and looked relieved. The end.
That's the way it's supposed to be. To be honest, I used to get those chills whenever I met a celebrity, but now I'm just like, oh, they're a human, just like the rest of us.
I'll do one more, and then I guess we could kind of maybe share our own experiences of meeting someone famous.
I've got one in mind actually, but we'll save it for that.
Yeah. My mum found Paris Hilton incognito at an airport, came to find me, brought me to a tiny lady in a hoodie and big sunglasses in the middle of the airport, goes, "Hi, are you Paris Hilton?" Then pushed me in front of her and said, "Here, say hi to my son," like I was a weird birthday gift or something. She said, "Sup." I said, "Sup." And then she did this weird little laugh. Then my mum goes, "Okay, bye." That was my sad and awkward meeting with Paris Hilton in an airport. Meeting celebs in an airport. I've never done it myself, but that's always like the worst place to meet celebrities, right? Either that or restaurants. going up to say hi to them in a
yeah.
restaurant when they're eating, particularly with wrestlers. I seem to
See,
recall.
don't do it to CM Punk by any means.
Well, from that website, Virgil Bag, back in the day. Do you ever trawl through that? It's well worth a look. It's hilarious. I might even, for next week's segment, do a few stories from that. But essentially, they're always drunk and always surly whenever you meet wrestlers in public places,
Right.
particularly wrestlers from the 80s, I would say. I mean, I don't know. I can't vouch for that. But, I mean, what was your experience training under Flash Morgan Webster? Was he quite nice or?
Well, I only had one training session with him, but yeah, he was straightforward. He was very laid back. He was he had a hangover when he was training us, so but he was just standard.
Couldn't do any nasty bumps then during that session, I take it.
No, I mean he came in, did the job, and he went out. He was fine, really. But yeah, I can't really say much about training under him because, like I said, it was only one seminar, really.
Fair dues. Well, who else have you met, celebrity-wise, that you're free to disclose stuff about?
Oh yeah, well, there's Padge from Bullet For My Valentine, who I met on the night that Whitney Houston died in Hobos in Bridgend, and Padge was drunk off his mind, and so was I, and I went up to him and essentially shook his hand and stuff, but then
all right, I'm a big fan of yours.
Yeah, something like that. I was like, oh, massive fan. I know I regret saying this. I don't know why I said it, but it was something along the lines of, oh, I know Matt gets more attention, but I think you're awesome.
That is the most backhanded thing I've ever heard.
I know. I was like, oh, why the f did I just say that? Looking back on it.
That is hilarious.
But yeah,
I know you're not the center of attention in Bullet. In fact, I don't even know why you're in the band, quite frankly. But I like you anyway.
But to be honest, my friend diffused.
You were drunk, in fairness.
Yeah,
fair, you know.
Well, it diffused the situation a little bit. That my friend came in and said, "Oh, guys, Whitney Houston's just died." So.
Oh no.
So it kind of changed the topic.
It's made the whole thing more awkward. Yeah.
So I'm glad I was drunk. I'm glad he was drunk. So he can't. Well, I don't think he's going to threaten me or anything like that. But you know, it is what it is, and I'm not 18 anymore, so that's all good. From my point of view, though, if someone's like seen one of my videos or my singing or something, and come up to me with words or whatever, I remember this girl when I was singing in a talent show. Messaged me on Facebook and said, "Oh yeah, I think you're really good and stuff." And, you know, she was quite attractive and everything, and we were talking for a little bit, and then the day after, she said, "Oh, do you know this? Are you friends with this guy?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "Oh, can you give him my number for me?"
Oh no!
I was like, "You utter twat."
Yeah, I know. Well, that's an entirely different topic for another day, you know. But I feel you there. Anyone else other than Padge or?
Do you remember the old band 18 Visions?
I have heard of them. I think Bees has brought them up a few times on Mosh Talks, but I've never really gone into big into them.
Yeah.
Well, not that I'm saying I'm not a fan. I just haven't really listened to their music yet.
Yeah, so. I went to one of his signings, their signings, and I think that was like 13 at the time. And
this wasn't a download or anything.
No, it was in an old record store back in Bridgend. But it was standard. I asked them if I could have some beer. They just laughed out loud, and the lead singer was really chill. The rest of the band were a bit more silent, but he was he had some charisma about him, which was really cool. So yeah, they were really great to talk to, and we just stood there chatting with them for quite a long time. So that was probably one of my favorite experiences there. The other celebrity I've met, Jimmy Carr.
Oh, nice.
Signed his
Now this is going to be interesting. How was he?
The same thing you see on stage, you kind of see off stage as well. Like he's
he
wasn't
roast. He didn't roast you or anything.
No, I can't remember what he said to my mum, who said she was a nurse. But it was I can't remember that part. All I remember was the heckle that I gave. So there was that point of the show where he was asking for heckles. Someone was saying no,
you didn't.
No. So people saying their gags and
But
things like
I've
that.
been Jimmy Carr's rebuttals. He doesn't hold back.
Oh yeah. Well, it's fine when you're like saying, "Oh yeah, you stand up shit" or whatever. But when at the last heckle, him saying, "Oh please, has anybody got any more heckles?" and all I do from the crowd is, that was literally all I did. And then he saw it came from me, and he was like, "What the fuck was that?" I was like, "Sorry, I was a bit desperate." And then he said, "You're a bit desperate. Well, you seem like a lovely little nice chap. You're like that kid at the bus station who won't stop licking the bus window."
Oh god.
So that was quite cool.
Brilliant. That's a great one.
I actually, because I was so like frozen, I couldn't actually hear what he said. But it was my mum that told it to me afterwards, because I just, that point where you just freeze and you can't take in any information. That was me at that point.
Of course. So you say you were, how old did you say you were?
When I met Jimmy Carr, well, that was my 21st.
Oh right, okay. So you weren't like, it wasn't like you were 5 or something. Well, that would be an excuse for screaming randomly, but no. 21-year-olds can still do that, ladies and gentlemen.
Especially this guy right here.
Speaking of stand-ups, I met Alan Davis actually after one of his shows.
Yeah.
And he was a nice guy. Basically, everyone. It was after one of his stand-up shows at the Grove in Dunstable, and I was wearing my Arsenal shirt, right, because he's a big Arsenal fan. And everyone, it was a long line. Everyone before him was like asking about Jonathan Creek and QI and all, the usual stuff. And I come up to him and I go, "How do you think we'll do on Saturday?" And he's sort of like, "Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't mind getting Aston Villa." This was the 2015 FA Cup semi-final.
All right, okay.
And it was like, "Oh yeah, do you think we'll get Liverpool?" He goes, "Oh, I don't know. I think I'd rather get Aston Villa, to be honest." And of course, we did get Aston Villa, and we thumped them 4-0, so that was always good. But yeah, he's a good lad. He's a very good lad. His podcast is fantastic. It's called The Tuesday Club, all about Arsenal. I guess one of my other notable moments, I met Doug Bradley, who played Pinhead in the Hellraiser films back in the day. This was a con me and my mate Matt went to in like 2010, something like that. Long time ago now. And this was back in the day where we had, you still had those cameras that were like with the where you kind of change the roll of film per shot.
Disposable cameras.
Disposable cameras, that's it. Yeah, there's back in the day of those, and I was like shaking when I met him, because me and him are big fans of the Hellraiser films, right? But him even more so, and he could just barely speak, and I was quite coherent. I was like, "Oh, he's nervous, yeah, bless him," sort of thing. He goes, "Yeah, nervous." I'll never forget it. And I didn't get a photo with Doug Bradley myself, but I took a photo of my mate with Doug Bradley, and it's the worst photo ever, because it's like pretty much it's like completely blurred, because my hands were shaking so much when I was trying to take the photo.
Oh dear.
So yeah, that was but he was a lovely guy actually, Doug Bradley.
Yeah.
He's apparently he's a big Liverpool fan as well. Just going back to football debate. And obviously it's intimidating when you know him as like this demon from hell, usually on screen, but he couldn't be further from that. And I guess just to wrap it up, I did meet Chuck Mosley, lead singer of Faith No More, before he passed away. Before Mike Patton came in, he was the lead singer of Faith No More. He sung on We Care a Lot, which is one of their biggest tunes. But he was doing a acoustic show down in Canterbury at Lady Luck. And I went down. And again, I remember my mate was so nervous to meet him. Not my mate who was the aforementioned mate who met Doug Bradley, but this other guy who I know down in Canterbury, because he's the biggest Faith No More fan in the world, And I was just like, "Well, dude, he's come down for this. He probably won't be back again. I suggest you kind of come in and just chat with him. It's just simple. Just have a word." He's like, "Yeah, you're probably right. He's probably not going to come back, is he?" And obviously, like a year later, he passed away. So I'm very grateful that I got to actually say say that to him. But he was a lovely guy, Chuck. In fact, I bought one of his demo CDs, and in it he wrote like lots of "Love you, man, Chuck" sort of thing in it. So yeah, that was a nice bit of memory. But again, it's just surreal seeing this kind of legendary figure, frontman of one of the greatest metal bands, whatever you call them, bands of the last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, whatever, just walking about like a normal guy.
Yeah.
Like he's not floating or anything, in the words.
Yeah.
He's not on some sort of pedestal the entire time, or has bodyguards with him, just wandering around ordering drinks like normal,
Yeah, like him. You spot him and Lee in a London bar,